All right, Adrian Peterson revealed some concerning news or updates on running back DeAndre Swift, and I put the link on the description from Dave Burkett, really good writer for the Detroit Lions. And let's talk about it. Check out our Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And basically he said that DeAndre Swift hasn't been himself. You know, energy level ain't been the same, and that Swift needed to take care of himself first before anybody else. And I agree. You know, he went through it with Job at best. He wasn't the same. And he had some injuries in college and some hits where he flipped upside his head. You know, he had a situation where, you know, he was carted off in college and we took a chance on him and he just didn't thrive. And Amir Abdullah was a guy who just wasn't fast enough. He was quick, but he wasn't fast. Keep going. Kevin Jones was a guy that didn't want to avoid contact. He wanted to go through it. Remember, he ran over on Ray Lewis on the goal line. But guess what? He didn't last long. I mean, you could just keep going on and on. James Stewart was a guy came from Jacksonville. He was at the end of his wits. You know, he was the last 1,000-yard rusher before Reggie Bush barely did it. George Bill was a guy, you know, couldn't avoid contact, didn't last long. Reggie Bush, his athleticism went down when he went here. Him and Joy Bell started fumbling at the end of the historic best season Stafford had. So, you know, bad running back history. Obviously, Kerryon Johnson is another guy, you know, who had one of those Derek McFadden-like bodies, and he couldn't take the beat. And, I mean, Adrian Peterson had one of those, but he was built different. He had his injuries in college and his pros, but he was built different, man. He was built, he had the muscle to take care of it. Kerryon was just too long in the limbs, and obviously they went to go scout Kareem Hunt, Attilio, I think Michael Williams, the tight end. He's no longer in the league. They took him. Passed up on Kareem Hunt. Passed up on Alvin Kamara. You could just keep going on and on. Passed up, I think, maybe on Derrick Henry in the second round. So, I mean, just been a really bad years for the Lions as far as finding running backs. And to be honest, they need to get up high in the draft or find them a Saquon Barkley. I mean, you have some good undrafted free agents. The kid, James Robinson from Rockford, Illinois, he played down there with Jaguars. Hopefully I said his name right. Then you had Philip Lindsay, who had some injury issues, but undrafted free agent. You know, what the Lions need to find is a back who is complete. You know, who can take the beating like Saquon, who can take it. Well, obviously he got injured. Zeke Elliott, you know, obviously he went down. They need to find that special back, Barry Sanders, somebody like that, Tony Dorsett, Eric Dickerson. Maybe some great backs, James Brown, Jim Brown. So I said James Brown. Wow, I feel good. Need to find those type of running backs. Not saying that DeAndre Swift not worth it or not there, but then again, we keep getting these small backs and they just can't take the pounding no more. And if that's the case, then you need to find your Ron Dane and Tiki Barber, your Thunder and Lightning, and they need a back that really can carry the load. And I thought Scarborough could have been out, gave an opportunity to show what he can do, but he started on the roster, didn't make it to see the field. Todd Johnson didn't make it to see the field, and Justin Huntley didn't make it to see the field. So, I mean, obviously we got an issue with running backs. And we actually got a solid line this year. You know what I'm saying? The DeAndre Swift showed that he could produce behind that line a little bit versus some pedestrian teams, but he's shown that the line ain't that bad. But to carry on, you got to find that guy that can match his fly. You got to find the Ron Dane. You know, you see Derrick Henry, and they got the kid from Appalachian State. What's his name? Aiden, whatever. But at some point, you know, they running Henry through the mud, and that's what he do. He gets stronger as he get the ball. But to be honest, you got to find that measure point. Not when you hand the running back, the quarterback handed to the running back. You got to find that measure point as far as, let's not running Henry down. Let's give him some carries. Let's average 16 carries, but let's get a backup running back 10 carries or 10 touches where we can get a nice, you know, we can preserve a Derrick Henry. And then in the playoffs, we can ride him. And if he get injured or he need a breather, we got a guy that we can trust, that got the experience, and he ain't coming into the playoffs with only 20 carries or 30 touches. You got to find that. It's not, you know, the days of Eric Dickerson and the workhorse running back, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, kind of a little bit gone, you know. And I think for DeAndre Swift, they need to find a guy that's like Saquon. They can do everything and physically got the size to do it and the speed. Or they need to find somebody that's a power back that really can do it. He ain't got to be 6'3" like Derrick Henry. Get you a nice guy who can really be the change of pace back and can run with power. You know what I'm saying? But the number one problem with the Lions is that they scarce at speed offensively. And that's one of the reasons why Stafford can't really take off. Tom Brady, they had a system where he could dink and dunk in Patriots. But, you know, look at Patrick Mahomes. He awarded a lot of speed, you know. At some point, you know, Brady can hand it off to Ronald Jones. Now he can go 90-some yards and do it. Who can the Lions do that with multiple guys? He could throw a slant and Chris Godwin could be gone. He could chuck it down the field and Mike Evans could run up under it. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes could throw it to Tyreek Hill and he can go get it. You can't overthrow him. I mean, who do Stafford got where he can just toss it or just hand it off and he could do what Barry did? That's the problem. When you got an older quarterback, he should do less and he should have the people around him do more. You know, he shouldn't be carrying the team. I mean, same thing with John Elway, probably one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. You know, at some point he failed. He lost, 3 Super Bowls in the beginning, whatever it was. They just didn't have enough team. But as John got older, they got Rod, I forget his name, just drew a blank. The receiver, I forget his name. They had Ed McCaffrey. You know, they got Terrell Davis who can take it to the house. That is the template on how to take care of an older quarterback. Great defense. They had a good defense, really good ball players over there. But it was Terrell Davis that was the difference. John had to do it by himself to drive with Cleveland and go down. John was mobile too. Great arm. But now what John can do is he got a defense that can get stops. And John can hand the ball off. And Terrell can just, you know, save his arm and get 6. And Matthew Stafford has never really had that. Calvin. But when you had Calvin Johnson, they took too late for them to get Golden Tate. The problem was Calvin needed Deshaun Jackson. And with this team, they needed Deshaun Jackson to prime with Tyreek Hill. They need speed guys. They need guys that can go to the house. And the only guys they got is Agnew. He ain't an offensive player. And they got Swift and Hall. And he ain't a starter. So when you talk about rebuilding this team, you got to get speed. You got a nice line. Speed. Speed at receiver. Keep Gallaudet. Get somebody that can take the top off next to Gallaudet. Get you another back who can run as faster than Swift or just as fast with some power. Hard to find that. Get you a slot that can get down the field. I mean, it's all about getting fast. It's all about being fast. Even damn near at the quarterback position. Defense got to be fast. In the front 7, the line's slow. But let's get to this question. Should they shut down DeAndre Swift for the season? I would. It's too meaningless. And Dave Burkett, somebody said that. He said, oh, that's not going to happen. Fuck it. Shut him down for the season. Let AP go for the yardage record from Emmitt Smith and let Kerryon prove himself and see if he come back next year and be a 3rd or 4th back or be able to find a home somewhere else or just retire altogether. Let's let DeAndre Swift forget it. Shut him down. It just don't make no sense to run him versus Chicago, run versus Green Bay again. And, you know, I think maybe Minnesota again. It's no point to play him. And I understand the Lions got some national televised games because they playing some teams that's really gunning for the playoffs. I get it. But we'll do what's best for that kid first, man. They say he not even the same. He not upbeat. He might have a serious brain injury that you might have to get a second opinion. Maybe his career over with. I mean, who knows? Do what's best for the players. And also, you're doing what's best at the team at the same time. You tanking, trying to get a draft pick. And I meant to get to that Logan question. I might do a letter about Logan, what he wrote for about not needing a quarterback. Maybe tomorrow or later tonight. But more likely tomorrow I'll talk about it. Shout out to Logan, though. But, yeah, shut him down for the season. There's no point to keep running him. You know what I'm saying? Shut him down. Let him get healthy. Let him decide his football future. But I understand you paying him. And he's still going to want to check it. They're going to throw him out there and do the SOL thing, the same old line thing, and throw him out there and let him take more damage and, you know, not preserve his body. But hopefully his father speak up, his agent speak up. If he ain't ready to go, he ain't ready to go. They said Gallaudet a little bit closer. For what? What's the point of putting Gallaudet in here this point? We tanking. I understand Darrell Bevel coaching for a job, but more than likely the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan don't want you back. And I don't want you back. Don't care how good you do at this point, you know. And that's just my opinion on it, man. So I would shut Swift down. It hurt Darrell Bevel's chance, but you ain't never been coach. You ain't going to be a coach here again. So that's what I would do, and that's just my opinion. Preserve the young man, do what's best for him. And this one is rare situation where you do what's best for the player and do what's best for the team and get a better draft pick. And people say about the Pistons all the time, tanking don't work. It do work. It's the only way you can build in the NBA. You know, what Joe Dumars did was an anomaly. That ain't going to happen every lifetime, every year. You got to tank. Same thing for the NFL. You got to be able to draft. And at some point to get top-tier talent, how do we end up with Ndamukong Suh, Calvin Johnson? You know, we drafted those guys. They had the opportunity to draft the next heir apparent to Stafford. They didn't do it. Had a parent. They just had a lot. They just missed out on this draft. And we're going to pay for it for years to come. But at this point, shut down DeAndre Swift. Let him get his mind right. Let him get physically right. And just shut him down. And just let him get those mental reps. So let me know what you guys think about Adrian Peterson revealing that he ain't doing so well. So, a few weeks left. Let's see what happened. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, response, your video request. All my social media links in the description. You want to advertise your business on the channel, that link's there. you want a video request or you want to chop it up, hit me up. Twitter's the fastest way, than Facebook and Instagram. Want to make a financial donation on the channel, #up CJGood313. That's in the description, PayPal link in the description. But other than that, best way to donate, share the video, hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Once again, share the video for me. Don't forget, check me out on Goodfellas Sports TV on YouTube, Goodfellas Sports TV 2.0. Check me out on Sportscastr for all the live streams that I do. Links in the description. Click it, create a profile. It's free. Great platform. So other than that, appreciate the love, support.